I knew my sister hated me, but I did not know how far she would go until she slid a birthday gift across the table and laughed. A DNA test. Maybe this will explain why you are another man's mistake, she said loud enough for every fork to stop midair. I swallowed the shame, mailed the kit, and waited. Months later, our family's estate lawyer requested an urgent meeting regarding Grace Ellington. My mother went pale. Naomi stopped smiling. In that moment, I realized something terrifying. They already knew what I was about to find out. Most people picture family as a soft place to land. Mine always felt more like a house with cold floors, beautiful from the outside, freezing once you stepped in. Growing up in the Ellington home in Denver, I learned early how to make myself small. I was the quiet child, the one who did her homework without being asked, the one who disappeared into corners so my mother would not sigh and my sister would not sneer. Even then, Naomi's world seemed to orbit at the center of everything. She had a way of commanding attention without earning it. Loud laughter, dramatic stories, and a talent for turning every room into her stage. My mother, Evelyn, applauded her every move. When Naomi got a B on a test, she was praised for being well-rounded. When I brought home straight A's, my mother blinked like she had forgotten who I was for a moment before saying, "That's nice. Grace, can you help set the table?" By the time I reached 35, I had built a life far from that house. Austin suited me with its quiet mornings, simple routines, and the kind of stability I had never known as a child. I worked as a financial analyst, dressed in soft, neutral tones, and tried not to think about the constant ache that came from being the forgotten daughter. When my father, James Ellington, passed away, the gravity of our family pulled me back. He had been the only steady thing in that house, a man of few words, but a surprising warmth. In small moments, a hand on my shoulder, a proud nod at my college graduation, quiet encouragement that never needed explanation. I did not know then that he carried a secret darker than anything I could imagine. 3 months after the funeral, my mother insisted we have a small birthday dinner at the old house. Her voice over the phone was too bright, too rehearsed, as if she were reading lines someone else had given her. When I stepped through the front door, I smelled the familiar mix of lemon polish and old books. The chandelier glowed, but the house felt emptier without my father's quiet presence. Naomi sat at the kitchen table, flipping through resort brochures, tanned from a recent trip, barely glancing at me as I entered. My mother poured herself more wine than usual, her hands trembling slightly. Something unspoken hung in the air like a storm that had not broken yet. I tried asking about the will gently and respectfully. My mother froze, her smile stiff. "We are just not ready yet," she said, but her eyes flicked to Naomi, and Naomi smirked like she knew a secret I did not. Looking back, the dinner was never about celebrating my birthday. It was about setting the stage for my humiliation. The tension did not arrive in one sharp moment. It crept in slowly, like a draft under a closed door. Every small detail felt off. Naomi kept glancing at me with an expectant look, as if she were waiting for a cue only she and my mother had rehearsed. My mother's wine glass was never empty, though she barely drank from it. Her fingers circled the stem over and over like she needed something to hold on to. Dinner itself was a performance. Naomi talked nonstop about her job, her husband, her plans to redo her kitchen in a French farmhouse aesthetic. My mother laughed at every comment, even the unfunny ones. When I spoke, the room seemed to dim like someone turned down the volume of my existence. Halfway through the meal, Naomi leaned back, eyes glinting. "So, Grace," she said sweetly, "still working at that same firm in Austin?" Before I could answer, she jumped back into another story about herself. It was not a question. It was a reminder that I was background noise. Still, something else simmered beneath her smug expression. Anticipation. Calculation. When my mother stood to bring out dessert, a small store-bought cake she had not even bothered to plate, Naomi pushed back her chair dramatically. "Actually," she said, reaching for a glossy box wrapped in silver paper, "I brought a birthday gift. Something I think you will find enlightening." My mother's face drained of color. "Naomi," she whispered. But Naomi ignored her, sliding the box across the table toward me like it contained evidence instead of a present. "Go on," she said. "Open it." I peeled back the paper, a strange stillness settling over me. Inside was a DNA testing kit. The room went silent except for the soft hum of the refrigerator. Naomi leaned in, laughing under her breath. "Maybe this will explain why you are another man's mistake in this family." The words echoed sharp and deliberate. My mother flinched but said nothing. The humiliation stung, but the fear in my mother's eyes felt like the real truth slipping through the cracks. Later that night in my old bedroom, the walls still painted the soft blue I had chosen at 15, I searched through old boxes like someone looking for proof of their own existence. At the back of my closet, I found an envelope that did not belong with the others. The dust around it had been disturbed recently. Inside was a photograph of a younger Evelyn holding me as a baby while standing next to a man I did not recognize. On the back, in my mother's handwriting, were the words, "Forgive me." My hands shook as I took pictures of everything. Then I turned to the DNA kit Naomi had delivered like a weapon. She had wanted me to take it. She had wanted something to happen. I mailed it the next morning, not because Naomi wanted me to, but because I needed the truth. The results arrived 5 weeks later on a quiet Tuesday afternoon. I was at my desk in Austin when the notification appeared on my phone. I expected dread. What I did not expect was clarity. No biological relationship detected with the Ellington family. A suggested match to the Hartman lineage. A name I had never known suddenly tied to me by blood. It did not hurt the way I imagined. It felt like confirmation. When I sent the results to our family group chat, my mother called sobbing, not with remorse, but with fear. She begged me to delete it. Naomi texted 4 words. "Well, now you know." From there, everything unraveled. The will reading revealed my father had known the truth and chose me anyway. He documented Naomi's manipulation, her financial misconduct, and her attempt to weaponize my identity. 70% of the estate was left to me by design, by intention, by choice. Naomi lost everything. The loans became debt, the secrets became evidence, and the power she thought she held evaporated. In the end, I walked away not with vengeance, but with peace. I built a new life where the lies could not follow me. Some endings are not loud. They are choosing yourself after a lifetime of being ignored. If you have ever been the overlooked one, know this: you are never invisible. You were simply stronger than they expected.